My name is Aaron Romeo Moon Burke. I am here with Mad Matt Winchell.
Hi.
Randy Ranson McCulloch.
Lou.
And our newest addition, Christer.
Hello, guys.
Christer is Norwegian, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, and I believe Funcom is a Norwegian company, or is it Swedish?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
Norwegian.
It's definitely in Norway. That's why my bank had an issue of me trying to get this account running again.
Yeah, Matt's bank is apparently suspicious of any kind of foreign transactions.
Are you sure that you put down $9 for the Santa Claus the movie from Amazon? Yes. Did you spend about $2 for the new revamped version of Postal? Yes. Did you try to spend $15 on a game that requires you to send it to a bank in Norway? Yes.
Alright, so we're going to be rolling new characters and doing some discussion on some of the classes for anyone who is not familiar with the game, or any changes to the classes that have happened over the past year or so since we last covered this game. Alright, so let's roll a new character. I got 12 slots available. Yay!
My recommendation, when you roll a character is to not choose a breed first. Go to the professions.
Or at least have your profession in mind when you choose the breed. I am basically going to be listening to what you two make and decide what I'm re-rolling.
Yeah, basically, if you're unsure about the game and you want to go into the profession, basically read a little bit about them. They have all unique skills. So if you're looking for a healer class, definitely the Doctor MP Adventures is and the MA is the best ones.
Actually, it's Dr. Martial Artist Adventure MP. If you run the Martial Artist in the new form,
yeah,
they will actually out heal adventurers at that point.
Yeah, I know that, but you don't get that in a long time in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought those were. I thought that was a nofab buy.
It is, but it takes time to get a high enough heal to make it effective.
Yeah, so, and MPs will dominate with a high-level heal pet at the low levels, and then will slowly get increasingly worse once you start capping that puppy.
Yep, that's true. But the Doctor is the best one anyway.
Oh yeah, well the doc will out heal anything that moves, and can actually tank at high levels.
Yeah, you can do a lot of hard things with the doc, which other profession can't do. Again, you're a doctor, so it will take you forever.
One of my old guildies used to. He had a high level like. I was with him from the 150 to 220 climb on his dock, and that thing was just amazing. And go ahead.
I should probably point out that I'm actually streaming on the new graphics engine that is in beta right now.
Yeah, but that's because you can't stream on the other one.
Yeah, the old graphics engine will not allow me to stream easily. I mean, I could do monitor capture, but the graphics of the game actually flicker in and out of, existence, and it was really super distracting and not good.
And that's because it is so incredibly old.
Mm-hmm. This is quite an old game. It's 2001, I believe, right?
Summer 2001 was its release. It was in beta, I believe, since the end of 2000.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel really old when you call the game old, and I'm older than the game, so technically you're calling me old.
I'm old enough that I remember Atari Pong.
Okay.
So no feeling old here. The thing is, the shelf life of an MMO is usually 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
10 on the outside. Anarchy Online celebrated its 15th anniversary this year.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising it's still up and running.
Yeah, I mean, I figured Anarchy Online would go before City of Heroes, and, well, that didn't happen. And, Funcom has been skirting the shoals of bankruptcy for a couple of years now. And I swear the only reason it's still around is because the Norwegian government has declared it too big to fail. Mostly because
Yeah.
I think those politicians all have like 6 AO accounts.
So, Barry was actually thinking of running a metaphysicist, and I was also thinking of running a metaphysicist myself.
Ooh, pet-tastic.
Pet-tastic. I mean, we can still do it, or should I
Well,
choose a different class?
Have you tried
Well,
bureaucrat?
let me just say one thing. Like all the pet profession is very good.
Yes.
That's one thing which is for sure. Having a good team combo is about having reflect, calms, healing, and tank.
That's
and
why I was
damage.
going to say to her, have you considered a bureaucrat? Because you
Yeah,
want
so-
calms. Bureaucrats are the calmer of AO.
Yeah, so-
Metaphysicists have a decent damage pet, a decent single target heal pet, and a really sucky mez pet. Try to deny it, Krister. Try to deny it.
Well, the mess pet
thinking-
is quite
Yeah.
bad, but yeah, so, sometimes
But what
I
I
don't
can
even
say is-
use it.
you can attack well with a metaphysicist. You can heal one target decently, so you can throw your heal pet on on the tank or on yourself.
And late game, you're one of the most tanky people in the game.
But telling the metaphysicist to go, yeah, use that to mez that guy, no, that's not going to work because that pet will hold it for like a second, if that.
I was thinking either adventurer or soldier. Otherwise, of course, I'm always kind of curious about the fixer, but
Well,
No.
I'm gonna
is that
say
a bad? Is that a bad thing? By the way, we've already picked up
The
a subscriber in like the past half hour.
the fixer is the bitch of AO. It has been since launch. Now, I don't say I love the fixer. I absolutely love the fixer, but it has gotten so many smackdowns from Funcom. It can't even get a boost without getting a smackdown in the same patch. It
before
is
the balance, Fixer used to be really good.
Before what?
Before the balance.
Before the balance, they used to be one of the best when it came to PvP. That's why you saw Fixer all over the place. But after balance,
there were a couple issues that were with the fixer. One of which is it was one of the few professions that required every single nano skill in the game, and all of them were dark ugly purple or dark ugly blue. It had some items to help circumvent that, but that was putting a band-aid on a leaking wound. And yes, prior to 200, Fixer was the bomb. Because high-level grid armor, which is expensive as fuck and only drops on a nano disc that arg, was pretty much owning anything prior to 200. There was, however, kind of a gap in 200 to 220 with fixers. You did get the best back armor in the game with the Shadow Weave Spinner, but it was still, you weren't quite as awesome as you were when you had the freaking grid armor going. Funcom did actually have a Grid Armor 5 listed in their item database, but it was never actually released.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, Fixer used to be very popular and very good in PvP before the balance, but after balance, these didn't have what it took. At the moment, I'm looking like I'm not gonna trash talk Fixer because I love playing Fixer.
Oh yeah, I have a fixer. I loved him.
I'm just gonna
still
say
love him.
at the moment, yeah, I still do, but at the moment, Fixer doesn't have really a good place in the game because when you look at damage, they don't have the damage to necessarily be better than anyone almost.
It never had the greatest damage. The thing is that damage was coupled with a frack ton of add-all defense, which the fixer was basically the fixer's god, was add-all defense. So you couldn't hit the fixer. The fixer had enough hots that it could heal itself and just grit you down with that moderate damage.
Yeah.
The problem is that they nerfed grid armor in the same time that they removed needing matter creation from the fixer. They nerfed grid armor, and I gotta kill my phone. Excuse me. I forgot that I had it set for an 8 o'clock alarm. Anyway, but yes, they nerfed grid armor in the same time they removed the matter creation, removing that nano resist, saying, yeah, you can take this nano resist perk line now, or the add all defense perk line, except for the fact that you couldn't put that perk line in at the same level that you could put on the grid armor, giving yourself an all-around nerf, which just put a big freaking hole in the character. I will still have my fixer. I'm probably not going to do anything with him anytime soon. He's sitting at level 150 because he used to be my primary farmer for Sector 10 back when farming Sector 10 was actually useful and profitable. Do you remember that, Krister?
Yeah, it still is.
Not really.
I tend to earn a lot from Sector 10 still.
From doing what?
From killing relays.
You know, the thing is, I can farm in there for 5 hours, and I'm lucky if one relay drops.
I assume I just have a better luck than you then.
Apparently, because, yeah, I could get... Back when they had frickin' those and the discs that you used to make the 100% city towers and the occasional bounty, I could make a decent amount of money in there on a daily basis, but they got rid of all of that.
But
and so
all right, let's speak about all the other professions.
Sure. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start from
well,
my
okay,
opinion
we're going
about
for what makes up a
list.
team. We mentioned healing.
Yeah.
The other thing you
Calming.
have to have is a decent tank. The guy in front that takes the hits. Now, 90% of the time, that's going to be an enforcer.
Yeah.
I've
I've
seen people do it with.
Tanks.
I've seen people do it with soldier. I've seen them do it with adventurer.
Let Krister talk here.
Okay. There is mainly 3 good tanks in the game. You have soldier, you have keeper, and enforcer.
Oh, keeper! Forgot about keeper.
The enforcer is gonna be strongest when it comes to tanking, because there's so much healing from a dock if you have the necessary healing. But it's gonna be, if you don't have an enforcer, then a soldier is really good, holding like against one big target. But the struggling with holding ag like enforcer can. And the same with keepers. Keepers actually better than the soldier, but they have less taunt than a soldier. So
yeah,
soldier
but
is
you
kind of better holding.
You have that heal aura, which heal generates hate. So it's,
but soldier has
it's
taunt buff.
okay, but not great. I use a keeper, my level 60 keeper, as my temple services twink right now. Because while that heal aura doesn't generate as much taunt, it does keep the people with me alive.
Yeah, so soldier has a taunt buff. It's very handy if you want to tank one target. You can actually hold ag from more than you deal damage, basically.
But really, if you've got a enforcer dock combo, it's pretty well you're pretty much made in the shade there, except if you get over ag, which if your enforcer doesn't know what they're doing, they can pretty much ag way too much for even the doctor to heal through. Which is where crowd control comes in. You want to take it from here, Krister?
Yeah. So if you're looking for solo professions, evade profession is gonna be your playstyle. Basically because if you don't have healers on your team, you pretty much want to look for a good evade profession, so you don't need to take all the hits.
Yeah.
My recommendation would be Shade, Adventure, and Fixer.
Not martial artist.
And MA is kind of exception because MA is a profession you need to choose between going a full evade and lose a lot of damage, or you want to do the full damage, which will make you do a lot of damage, but you're the profession that needs to give a lot to get something.
I actually feel that way about the Shade. I mean, I've seen a lot of...
Shade can stay full defense, do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
Be a very perk.
but most of the people I've seen build Shades near endgame, they tend to make them very glass cannony. They can do crap loads of damage, so much so that they're actually generating more hate from their damage than the Enforcer can actually keep with its taunting going on. And then, of course, the big boss monster that you're currently dealing with turns on the Shade and kills it in 3 hits. Yes, I am referring to Beast Raids, by the way.
Yeah, Enforcer doesn't lose ag, not to anyone. Enforcer have too much taunt items. You have like items that gives taunt and low cooldown, and also taunt recharge, perks, 50k taunt in one single nano, and you can throw that so many times. There's no way for Enforcer to lose ag as long as he has enough mana to cast the nanos.
I've seen it happen.
Okay, so we've got, you can be a tank where you just like hold egg and everything. We've got the evade classes.
The
We went
evade
over
classes are great solo professions, and I actually still do recommend the martial artist as being probably one of the best solo professions in the game. Having spoken as one who's taken it all the way up to 220, it is, especially as a starter character, it is low equipment purchasing because you don't need to buy a new weapon every 5 to 10 levels. Because you're mostly using your fists until around 150. You can use certain weapons, but you don't need them. And all you really have to do is keep your armor up to date and make sure you have your latest nanos. And you're pretty well good on a martial artist. The thing is, above about 100, it becomes a dance. You have to know which of your perks to hit at what point, exactly timing it right, or you're going to have a bad day.
Okay, so we've got those covered. What about the pet professions? We have metaphysicist, engineer, and I believe the bureaucrat.
Mm-hmm.
Crickets?
Well, the thing is, they all provide a different function. The pet professions. I mean, like I said, the bureaucrat is what you want for calms, because it is the best calmer in the game. It actually, the fact that it has a pet is almost secondary to that, or in fact, it kind of is secondary to that. It is probably one of the best team professions in the game because it has the calms, it has the experience buffing. It's overall a great team player profession. The engineer has one pet that does damage and another pet that sort of does damage, but is mostly a distraction to get things off the first pet. And, when they get high enough, you can put a lot of points into trade skills and make stuff. That's basically the engineer in a nutshell.
Okay.
They haven't done the rebalance on the engineer yet, have they? Because
the nerfed the engineer more than others, because the engineer was too strong.
Yeah, well, according to the scuttlebutt that we were all hearing about the rebalancing, what they were going to do is take their pet requirements from being nano skills to being trade skills. But I don't think they've put that in yet, at least not the last time. Yeah, not the last time I put my engineer on the screen anyway.
Yeah,
Alright,
I played
so
my
should
220 today.
Mine's still being used as a beacon warper for Crypt of Home, so he's sitting at 100 for a while.
We should probably explain to Barry that engineer's kind of more of a crafting profession. He already has a bureaucrat.
Well, also, engineer is the second best damage dealer in the game. Don't forget
Okay.
that. That's
As-
100% sure.
As an engineer, playing, you have two modes. Idly sitting by, fooling with your inventory while your pet's killing stuff, or running around in abject terror screaming, "Get it off me, get it off me, get it off me," while your pet attempts to kill whatever's killing you. Those are the two modes an engineer has. Metaphysicist, on the other hand, you've got the pet going that, heal the pet, heal the pet, heal the pet, heal me. Okay, I'm cool. And your pet just, once you start getting into the higher level thing, your pet just turns into a crack monster of death. When you get into the demon class, it's absolutely beautiful. And I got my my demon, my level 200 prior, no Shadowlands expansion, anything demon pet, at about level 78.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
My
quite
MP was
doable.
it's doable. My MP was a joy to play. She's currently at level 199, just doing Lost Eden levels by running the queen, the Mantis Queen, on a regular basis.
Well, that leaves us with two classes that we have not, or two professions we have not talked about yet: agent and nanotechnician.
We also didn't mention the trader.
Oh yeah, and trader.
The trader is not a profession I recommend for new players.
I never really understood what it does.
Trader is a very cool profession. You can drain a target to gain more stats to yourself. So it's very handy if you want to think up a weapon or something.
Traders are very much, if you know the expression, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. It's pretty much, you grab from the monster, you give to yourself, you grab from yourself to give to your teammates. It's you, everything is kind of all, equal exchange kind of stuff. Except it's not quite equal, as you hold a little bit to yourself. It's if you know how to play it, it can be very fun. If you don't know how to play it, it's going to be teeth grinding frustration and death. Like I said, I do not recommend trader for new players, nor do I recommend agent. Agents can be awful powerful, but they're awful expensive to make awful powerful. I know somebody whose first character they rolled was an agent. Was that you, Matt?
Nope.
No, I forget who it was, but they had nothing but pain because they couldn't afford all the stuff they needed to make themselves decent.
Would that have been maybe Bob?
No, Bob's first character was a martial artist on my advice.
Was it Ed?
No.
That would have been a nice guess, but no.
No, Ed didn't roll an agent until about 6 months ago.
Was Jeff? Was it Jeff?
I don't
Did he ever
remember.
play this
I
game?
honestly don't remember.
Huh.
It was somebody I talked to. I just don't remember who.
Huh.
I complain a lot about the agent. You will probably hear some minor visceral hate over agents over the course of this, just because the fact that agents have been the whiny class profession of AO pretty much since launch. I swear the agent players won't be happy until they can cast every profession's buff in the game. Not just the ones Funcom recommends, everyone. That they can reclass and do all the quests to get all the unique nanos and everything, because that does seem to be what they want.
Okay. Krister, what is your opinion on the agent or the trader? Anything else to add to that?
Well, I love playing agent, especially at 220. It's great, very fun, but it's a very expensive profession.
Yes.
And it's more like it's more grindy than others because you need to get a lot of nanos to your stuff, because you can mimic almost every profession except the Shadowland profession as Keeper and Shade.
Wonder how they haven't gotten that past Funcom yet.
But they are quite good at damage, especially after balance. The getting more crit and the getting a better weapon, and they are definitely better as nanos in PvP. So I would say they are strong profession. It costs a lot, and it takes more time than others. But they can deal some good damage, and they are pretty much a little bit of everything, even a tank.
Okay.
Because we can mimic the enforcer and be the tank if necessary.
Or mimic an
But
MP, have the heal pet on you.
But they won't be as good as enforcer, of course not.
No, they're not as good, but they're allowed to have those certain little things that can give them an edge. But like you said, it's horribly expensive getting all those nanos, not to mention getting all the gear needed.
So agents are kind of jacks of all trades, but master of none?
No, that's the adventurer.
Well, we didn't really talk much about the adventurer at all.
Well, I think adventure might be one of the best profession if you are unsure of the profession. They have a lot of everything. They are like doing a little bit of damage, you're doing a little bit of healing, you have a little bit of evades.
You have your decent damage. You can off tank. I'm not going to say you can full out tank, but you can off tank. You can off heal. You're like the third best in almost every class. You even have minor crowd control. So you're basically the third best in like everything across the board. But you're still going to get to the thing where, a team will take a full on in any of those over you. It's not bad soloing, but you do hit a couple of plateaus where you just can't seem to do enough to kill the next guy for a while. And of course, there's always the debate with adventurers on whether you want to go ranged or melee.
Yeah, well, ranged is better.
It really it kind of depends on what level. I personally have a ranged adventurer. My main problem is you basically require a weapon with slingshot, burst, and full auto. And the only one that has full auto is a Jep, which does crappy damage. So you're stuck with the Jep as your offhand weapon for pretty much the rest of the game. Which means you basically have a one hand with a decent damage weapon and one hand that you're solely keeping for full auto. I'm really kind of hoping Funcom realizes this and releases an adventurer-only full auto gun for the offhand somewhere near end game.
All right, so
doing that would really make the adventurer a lot better.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but let's move on to nanotechnician.
Okay. They are quite. Let's just say they are very scary in PvP. The second most scary PvPer in the game.
But again,
the fact of amount of damage they have, and they can get immunity for 19 seconds by the NS2. It's enough to kill any profession in the game.
I would point out that the NS2 is a very expensive nano that, like grid armor, only drops in an instruction disc and has to be crafted.
The fire's about doom.
It is also a profession I would not say play on your first run. First of all, there are there's a lot of nanocrystals you need as a nanotechnician that make it a very expensive class. It also does have a bit of a combat learning curve. 90% of the NTs out there these days that I see are built for kiting because they're basically used for kiting hecklers to power level people. Either that or they're built for working with an enforcer, with a pocket enforcer, which is a high level enforcer assisting your team by keeping all the ag while you shoot them down. I'm not sure how many NTs I see actively playing endgame, but it's a smaller proportion than I see of a lot of other classes. There are
what's your
some.
opinion?
Well, I think anti is great as beginning profession because you have the damage and it's not that difficult to get it, and you're not you're not the one that struggle with getting to places because you have a calm. So moving around to different areas is not as difficult. Just Shadowland calms do have a pretty good landing. It's not difficult to land on mobs. Yeah, I think they're great. You have calms to make you safer, and weapon choices isn't a problem. So
Yeah, especially if you're in the Shadowlands, you're pretty much rocking a cyber deck at that point.
yeah, the only thing you need to keep track on is like the cyber deck is your weapon. So every time you get like a spec, it's gonna be your weapon increasement.
Or as some people call the cyber deck, the evil claw of doom. Just by the graphic on you, it looks like you're basically have the power glove with knives on it. It's kind of awesome, actually.
Oh, so you're Freddy
Seems really
Krueger.
Kind of. Kind of. I knew a guy used to be the head of IR, Nyadach, who actually went with that whole robed killer with the claw thing. It was actually very nice. Back when role-playing was actually a thing in this game.
Let's sigh.
Okay, let's start to choose a profession.
All right, I
So-
think I'm going to go with the bureaucrat.
Crats are fun.
So what breed would you suggest for a bureaucrat?
I would say Soltus and non-mage be best.
I would my bureaucrat's a nanomage, and I did that for the sole purpose of being able to get higher calms faster. That, and I have some items, some nanomage only items like the Valos sleeves I could throw on him early.
Yeah, I really love playing my Soltus Krat. I have a good friend. He has a non-mage Krat. His opinion is like I'm unsure if it's worth it. Basically because there's one item that confuses him. It's the dreadlock item. Basically, because you start losing a decent amount of evades when it comes to Soltus to non-mage at 220.
Well,
So-
yeah. To be
so
honest,
that-
I'm half
Yeah, so-
tempted to get a race respect token for him.
Yeah, so that's
Eventually.
why he's starting to like wonder if it's better or not. I enjoyed Soltus Krat. I think it's really powerful.
The
Well,
thing is, there's
as
not
leveling-
many professions in this game that Soltis don't work good for.
Hmm.
There are maybe a handful.
Well, Soltus is the best when it comes to if you're unsure what to do. Soltus works into everything. It's not the best to everything, but it's not bad to
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah, that was when I did my Soltis martial artist. You know, I
Soltis
found-
martial artist is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, martial artist, it's Solitex or Solitus or Opifex are basically the two you want to choose from.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going through the heads now.
So how about you, Matt? What are you going to play? I'll remind you that you are paid at this point, so if you want to try the Shadowlands professions, this is a good time to do it.
True, and I have not touched Keeper actually in a very, very, very long time, and that's kind of tempting to me.
Not since the last time you rolled a keeper.
Yeah, not since the last time I've been paid, and that was 6 years ago. So, I guess it's gonna be Keeper.
Okay.
I just now actually. So then the question is, which race is best with that?
Either Solitus or Aatrox, depending on what you're going for. A Trox Keeper is great for if you're going to try to tank with him. If you're going to all round, go Solitus.
How do you mean all around?
All around tank heal, tank heal damage essentially. I know some tricks with Troxes to get them into high equipment well, but it's a pain in the ass and not anything we're going to be doing on this live stream.
Because that would take hours, and we're not going to
Oh,
film all
yes.
that.
Well,
Mind you, I probably still have all the plants somewhere in frickin' backyard
Matt,
Doc's bags, but
Matt, I will recommend go Aatrox.
Okay.
yeah, and if anyone's playing an Enforcer, it's go Trox or go home.
So
Yeah, Trox is the best
Keeper
Enforcer.
then. Let's pick a head. Not that one.
Yeah, I think Aatrox to Enforcer and Keeper is the best choice. There is no. The thing is just when it comes to thinking in the game, if you are good enough, the Aatrox is just gonna be better.
I have spreadsheets devoted to twinking in this game.
Twinking is my love. It's what I do in this game.
Yeah, we have a friend of ours, Bob, who used to play and has since apparently just hooked his lifeblood up to Rift, though we keep wondering why. But
It's okay, but it's not great. And
we would schedule a night that we were going to go out and do stuff and, level and do missions and stuff. And about 10 or so minutes before we're supposed to all meet up, he would send me a message over Skype and go, "Hey, I've got this, but I can't put it on yet. Can you help me twink on into it?" And I would get this. I would start shaking, and it was just like the old Flintstones betting Freddy cartoons. Just like twink, 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 twink. Up comes the spreadsheets, everything. Suddenly, it's 6 hours later. We've finally gotten it on, and it's like, yeah, well, I can't do anything now because it's too late.
So, Erin, what breed did you decide to go for?
I went with Solitus Bureaucrat, and I've already logged into the game.
I gotta name him. Oh gosh, what am I gonna name him?
Solitus. Okay, so we got a Krat, a Keeper. What are you playing?
I decided to go for Ancient Ubifex.
Okay, so I'm not re-rolling a lack of skill. Fuck. What are we missing?
This is my 5th Ancient, actually.
Yes, I know, but I'm out of available character slots on my main list here. So I'm only re-rolling one of my under 50s. So my choices are Doctor, Enforcer, Trader, Agent, Shade. Those are my under 50s. Of those, which do you think I should re-roll?
It would be definitely Enforcer or Doctor between them.
Those are the two I actually have to mule stuff off of before I can re-roll them, unfortunately. All right, so bring up the Weefle Gal and move stuff over. Which do you think?
Since we have a Keeper and Ancient, I would think like the Doctor would be the best choice.
Well, that's the lower of the two. All right. But he has some stuff that I definitely want to... Oops.
So you're going to have to put one of your other accounts on and mule stuff over, apparently.
Yep.
Are you Racy, Aaron?
Yep.
Is that you?
Yes, that is me.
Wow, miracle of miracle, you wound up in the same zone. It's my one issue with the NPE.
Well, if you don't fall in the same zone, you can actually just log off and log in like a few times.
Yeah, we were trying that. It didn't work so well when we were demoing the NPE a couple of months after it came out. We kept logging back into the same zone. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it's annoying if you fall into the same zone, but
There's a slightly more hair pulley, but overall for attempt easier way, and that is to meet in the alien shuttle. All right, what do I got in my bank too? While I'm here. Oh yeah, costume packs. I want to keep those because you can't buy those anymore.
so Matt, since you're leveling a keeper, and
I'm trying to name him, and I just can't think of a name for him right now, and it's driving me crazy as usual. Oh,
I just like the fact that my screen is now large enough that I don't have to worry about closing any of my old windows and stuff.
I have a keeper which I don't really care too much about. If you want the name, I can delete him.
no, that's okay. I'll think of something. I just need a.
I'm not deleting Keep the Faith. Not ever.
I can't remember now. Can we do like underscores or spaces for names, or is that not a thing?
No,
Not
that's not the
spaces,
thing.
and I don't think underscores. Yeah, okay.
Remember also as a new player, you have right to do name change for free, as long as you're under level 20, by the way. So you can do a petition if you dislike the name, and you can level up. But if you level over level 20, then there is no free name change. So you might wanna, depending on how fast we're gonna level.
All right. Is any of this no drop? Not.
Sweet.
Interesting piece of trivia. When this game, I don't think launched, but in early beta, there was no such thing as a no drop. And then originally the only things that they made no drops were things like token boards or things that you personally advanced. And then of course they kept just proliferating what became no drop.
Honestly, I prefer no drop and unique items. I'm more like big fan those things because it's gonna be more camping.
Well, certain things I think shouldn't be no drop that are. I think they might have fixed some of it, like the Temple of the Three Winds. The instruction books to get the martial arts attacks, I don't think should be no drop, but the actual martial arts attacks themselves should be. And that's just because of the drop rarity of them. The randomness and the drop rarity of them means you have to camp hours to get like book 6.
Yeah, I think camping is really great. Camping.
Camping, not so much for me. I understand a level of it. It's the fact of how insanely low some of the drop rates are. Where you can be, for a moderate item, you can camp for like 4 to 5 hours and not see it drop at all. Because it's the chances of dropping are like 1/2 of 1%. Absolutely dumb. What do you mean this chest contains a no drop item? What's no drop in it? Ah, okay, that is. Got it.
Damn it! Someone is already using the name McLarge Huge.
McLarge huge.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you want me to delete my keeper, I can do that.
Like I said, no, I'll come up with something. I'm going already sideways as it is.
Okay,
I'll figure out something.
What do you sound? Do you like the name "Keep the Pain"?
It's an interesting name, but I'll think of something else.
Yeah, if you want that name, I can delete my keeper. It's only 55. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Node and pellet. Node and pellet. Coral.
Because I
Stuff I
saved
don't
two.
mind losing, but there's some stuff in this bag I want. Ah,
Because I saved
bonfire
two
kids.
awesome
That's-
names, like keeper names I want to make. So delete and keep the pain won't matter for me.
Ah, I turned up the music too loud.
I don't know how to spell that.
Bag full of doc nanos. Yes,
Let's
please.
tab out for a moment.
This. Well, first of all, this is a no drop backpack. So, is there anything in here that's not no drop? Living cyber armor.
There, 10% should be good enough.
Electrical surge
Lord.
pistol.
I turned the music up because it was like so loud. We're sorry, guys. We're just waiting for everybody else to show up.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I have to strip down before I can re-roll. But
I just noticed that you can actually go inside this thing.
insert cheesy saxophone here.
It sounds like Matt may have actually found a name that works for him.
I came up
didn't
with
realize
one.
that you could
Oh god,
actually
that music
go-
is loud.
I know. Blaring music.
Deafening music I must try to talk over.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the things about my account that I have is that it's set up so that the music's not loud.
Oh god, it's crackling now. God damn, let me get to the options. Settings. Audio.
Oh, yeah, that one's not supposed to. That one goes over. That one goes over.
First
I
of all, let's
actually
make the
went
master
back
volume about
inside
the
50.
cargo unit. It is very cargo-y. Full of stuff. You there, are you heading into the ICC headquarters? I can help. That doesn't quite.
I've been
Minimum
invited to a
level
team.
5, okay. Yep. Cernos, right? CERNOS?
I can't even see
Yeah,
who's sending
yeah,
it.
No drop.
Yeah,
Whale,
I think it
whale.
should say so-and-so wants to invite you to his team.
You have been invited to a team. Click on the team button on the menu and open the. Oh.
Whee!
Oh, man. Well, I'll get most of this
Oh, my
back.
pistol is equipped. Okay, good.
Well, join Cernos' team. Okay, yeah.
I should really look up key bindings because it's been so long.
All right, that's no drop unique. That's no drop unique.
Key bindings. Actions. Aimed shot. Attack is Q. Okay. I forgot what was attack. U is for. Slingshot is L. Okay.
So there's one thing which I did prepare for us for. I went into Subway and camped some Subway weapons for us. Requirements Lost Eden.
Well, since we're all paid, that's a non-issue.
Yeah. So those are pretty decent.
Yeah, I was just mentioning those to Aaron earlier because those only came in a little while ago.
Yeah, pretty neat to the game. But I camped a few different ones in hope that we make the profession for those.
Okay.
Want to keep that. Sorry, I'm having to go through and it's like, Rings of the Nucleus Basilisk. Yes, I want to keep those, please. Crap.
So, Matt,
Crap,
you have
crap,
choice
crap.
of two weapons, basically. At the moment, two-handed edge is gonna be the best one. But later, when you get like 180 plus, then melee enter is gonna be an option for you.
melee energy, I think you're just
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, that's going to
Okay.
be an option for you later on.
Really, but that's really high level.